Welcome to TechGen, where we explore the latest technology, innovative gadgets, and smart buying guides to help you make informed tech decisions. If you're building a serious sim racing setup, a good cockpit can make just as much difference as the steering wheel itself. So, is the ARES WING Racing Simulator Cockpit worth your money? How does it work with Formula and GT driving positions? What makes the integrated TV mount useful? And can it support popular Logitech, Moza, Fanatec, and Thrustmaster equipment across PC and consoles? I've added a link below where you can check the latest price, current offers, and availability. The ARES WING Racing Simulator Cockpit is designed to give your racing setup a dedicated structure rather than having your wheel and pedals attached to a regular desk. It's built around a racing style frame that supports both Formula and GT style sim racing positions, allowing you to create a more authentic driving environment depending on the type of car you're simulating. For GT racing, the seating position keeps you relatively upright and works naturally with touring cars, GT cars, and many road car simulations. Formula-style positioning gives you a more reclined driving posture that better matches open-wheel racing. That flexibility makes the cockpit useful if you play different racing games instead of focusing on just one category. The cockpit also includes an integrated TV mount, which is particularly useful when you're building a complete home racing station. Instead of placing your television on a separate cabinet or table, the display can be mounted directly as part of the racing setup. This helps keep the screen positioned consistently relative to the driver's seat. In practical use, that means your TV, steering wheel, pedals, and seat can all become part of one dedicated racing environment. If you're enjoying this review so far, consider giving the video a quick like. It really helps support the channel. Compatibility is another major selling point. The cockpit is designed to work with popular racing hardware from Logitech, Moza, Fanatec, and Thrustmaster. That gives you flexibility when choosing your wheelbase, steering wheel, and pedal system. You don't have to build your entire setup around one manufacturer. For example, you could build an entry-level setup with Logitech hardware, upgrade to a Moza direct drive system later, or configure the cockpit around compatible Fanatec or Thrustmaster equipment. The important advantage of a dedicated cockpit is stability. When you're driving with a force feedback wheel, the wheelbase constantly applies forces through the steering wheel. A desk-mounted setup can move or flex when those forces become stronger. A dedicated racing frame gives the wheel and pedals a much more stable foundation, helping you maintain consistent control during aggressive steering inputs. The pedal mounting area is equally important. Having the pedals secured to the cockpit means they remain in the same position instead of sliding across the floor during heavy braking. That's particularly useful for racing games where consistent braking pressure and pedal positioning can make a noticeable difference in lap times. The cockpit is designed for PS5, PS4, Xbox, and PC racing games, making it suitable for gamers who use multiple platforms. That means you can build one physical racing station and switch between different gaming systems depending on what you want to play. For PC sim racers, this could include titles such as Assetto Corsa Competizione, iRacing, and other racing simulators, depending on the hardware and game compatibility. For console users, the cockpit can provide a more immersive setup for compatible racing titles on PlayStation and Xbox. Another important advantage is the overall immersion. Once the seat, wheel, pedals, and display are positioned together, your driving position becomes much closer to the layout of an actual racing car. This can make a significant difference in games where you're spending long sessions behind the wheel. The TV mount also means you can position a relatively large screen directly in front of you instead of relying on a distant television across the room. For racing games, bringing the display closer to the driver can increase your sense of speed and make the virtual cockpit feel much more immersive. The ARES WING design is also useful for people who plan to upgrade their equipment over time. You can start with an affordable steering wheel and pedal combination and gradually move toward more advanced hardware without needing to completely replace the cockpit itself, provided the upgraded equipment fits the mounting requirements. Compared with a simple wheel stand, a full racing cockpit provides a much more complete driving environment. Compared with a desk-mounted wheel, it offers a dedicated seat, pedal position, wheel mounting structure, and TV mounting solution. For gamers searching for an ARES WING Racing Simulator Cockpit review, Best Sim Racing Cockpit, Formula Racing Cockpit, GT Racing Cockpit, Racing Wheel Stand with TV Mount, Moza Cockpit, Fanatec Cockpit, Logitech Racing Cockpit, or Thrustmaster Racing Setup, this cockpit is definitely worth considering. With its Formula and GT compatibility, integrated TV mount, dedicated wheel, and pedal mounting, and compatibility with Logitech, Moser, Fanatec, and Thrustmaster equipment, the ARES Wing is designed to become the foundation of a complete racing simulator. Whether you're playing on PS5, PS4, Xbox, or PC, the cockpit gives you a dedicated place to build your racing setup and create a much more immersive experience. If you're serious about sim racing and want to move beyond a basic desk setup, the ARES WING Racing Simulator Cockpit provides the structure needed to turn your gaming space into a dedicated racing station. Thanks for watching TechGen. If you found this review helpful, be sure to subscribe for more tech reviews, comparisons, and buying guides. See you in the next video.